So welcome to Scratch Coders. Till now we have made a login page where you can see the backgrounds and all the stuff, and also the login button from where we will logged in. So uh, today we are going to build in the header. First we are going to do make the navigation items, and then we are going to make the Firebase setup, and next we will try to do the home screen. Okay, so let's get working on it. So first we are going to add the navigation menus. For that we will go right below this logo and add nav menu component, and in this component we will first give a link. Yeah. Wait. We will give a link where we will give href tag, which gives home. Okay, we will make that home page. So first, so next we are going to add an image, which will be a icon for a home. So we will include image img tag. In that we will give the source. In that source we will add the source which is in the assets. Yeah, assets, images, and in that image the image name is home icon.svg. Next we are going to add alternate name. Let's give it home. Okay, and next we are going to have a text. We will take it as a span. Let's make it home. Okay, so we have added stuff in the navigation item, and so next we are going to style it. For that we'll go here and add constant nav menu style dot div, and so in that next we will also do some stuff like in that navigation item we have link, image, and span. So these all will be inside this navigation menu. So let's style it. So for this navigation menu we will first give the display as flexible. Next we will align those items in the center, and next we will give the flex flow. We will give the flex flow of wait, yeah, so flex flow of row, and we will now wrap. So next we will give height, which will be 100%, and justify content will be flex end. So it will justify all the contents to the end of the flex. and so we will give the margin with 0 pixels and also the padding to 0 pixels, and also we will give position as relative. Yeah. uh, then after giving position as relative, we will give margin to the right. Let's first check it if everything looks good. Yeah, it's here. So first we will give margin right as auto, and as there will be many items, so we will give it auto, and also we will give margin to the left with 25 pixels. Okay, so next we will style for the link. For that we will give display as flex. Then we will align those items in the center, and also we will give padding with 0, 0 and 12 pixels. Okay, yeah, so it's flex and also it is aligned in the center, and I will show you something. It's not going. I'll show you later. Yeah, so next we will style for the image. So after a, which is link, give img, where we will first give the height of somewhat 20 pixels. It's enough. Then we will give the minimum width as 20 pixels, and we'll give width as 20 pixels, and also we will give z index to auto, as it depends that whether it come in or out. Okay, on the header, or it will be not visible to us, it will hide behind it. So next we will style for the span. So in span we will first give the font size of 13 pixels. Yeah, so it's in size, and next we will give the letter spacing of 1 point, let's give 1.42 pixels. Yeah, now it looks good. So next we will give line height of about 1.08. Yeah, and then we will give padding of 2 pixels and 0 pixels, and also we will give white space of no RAM. Okay, and next we will give position. Position as relative, and also we will give, let's give color. Let's take this color. Mm, 9. Yeah, so let's save it. Okay, it's right. Yeah, yeah. Now it redirects. Okay, so it's here. So we are going to give some hover screen. So let's first give all the navigation items different, another navigation items. So as we have given as home, we will try to add more. So let's copy it, paste it. We will give this home. We will just remove it as we need home page is necessary for now. So we will change this and let's take a search. So search item and alt will be search and the span is search. Okay, so it's here. Next we'll add more, remove the link, and then after search we'll add some watch list to check what are on the watch list. So what are on the watch list to check? Let's give it watch list icon and then give all tag as a watch list. Watch list. Yeah. So we have added it. Next we will try to give original. What is name original icon? Yeah. So let's give it originals for to see all the original dramas or movies. Yeah, they are there. And also mm, we are going to add movie to see different movie movies. Yeah. So next we will add series. Yeah. Let's give the alternate name to and this should be yeah. So we have added all the navigation menu and these are navigation items. So here we can see that it the rest is going hidden. So as we make the screen bigger, it shows. When we make it small, it disappears. It's now wrapped. So as we make the screen bigger, you can see that these are the items, different items, and login screen. This will when we log in here, this will not be visible, and after logging in, this will be visible, and here will come the profile picture of the logged in person. Yeah, so now we can see that this is something not so looking not so cool. So let's try to add some transitions. So as we hover here, it should show the a line going through, the line going under the name, and when we are not hovering it, it should be invisible. So we have made a link, and we have given the CSS for span and also image, as image and span should be inside the link, as we have taken here. Wait, yeah, so in the link we have image and span. So like that we will take the image and span inside the link. So after taking that, we are going to do like stuff, like when we hover in, the line should be under the home, the line should go like this, and when we remove the cursor, it will just make it hidden. So let's make it more interesting. So first we will, inside the span, we will give before effect. So and before, we will give background color of RGB with somewhat of height. So it's, yeah, so this is the background color. Yeah, and also we will give border radius of 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 4 pixels, and 4 pixels. Okay, so we have given the border radius. Let's make it to the bottom with -6 pixels. It will go beyond, yeah, bottom. Yeah, so next we will try give content, and it will be blank, and then let's give it a small height of 2 pixels, and also the width we will give as auto, as we will not consider it that width, but we will scale it. So first we will give the opacity of none, so 0, and also we will make it to the center. So left will be 0 pixels and right will be 0 pixels. Okay, so after that we will give position as absolute, and next we will transform the origin from left to center. Yeah, and also we will transform by scaling it to the x-axis by, we will first not scale it, it's before, so we will not scale it, but after hovering it will scale by 1. So it will not scale now. So first we will give transition to all with 250 milliseconds, and we will give bezier, cubic bezier of 0.25, 0.46, 0.45 and 0.94, and then we will give 0 seconds and 100. So then we will give visibility of hidden, as before hovering we should not, that line should not be visible. Okay, so the before effect we have completed. So let's go by making the hover effect. So we will make it after span. So this is before span. So in the link, in the link they will give and hover. So in hover, the span before the transform of that is scaling by in the x-axis will be at by 1. Should be visible. Yeah, that here let's first give the visibility of visible. Yeah, think opacity of 1, which is yeah. So opacity was important, and the visibility should be visible after hovering. So because before hovering we have given the visibility of hidden, so this was necessary, and before hovering the scaling was not possible, and after scaling it's 1. And also we have transform origin to left, from left to center. So as we hover here, so as we hover it goes from left to the center and covers everything. Yeah, so now it looks good. Okay, so now let's make the setup for Firebase. So to make a setup for Firebase, let's go to Firebase console. Yeah, so in console we will add a new project, and here we have given our project name scratch. So scratch, it's okay. So click continue. We will disable the Google Analytics as it is not necessary for us for this project. So now it's creating. Yeah, so after creating we will set the authentication, and we will set authentication, then database, which is we will use Firestore, and we will use storage to store the images. So we will make a web app. So let's give it a name scratch. This is necessary. Also set up Firebase hosting for this app, as we need hosting of Firebase. So this making the checkbox is necessary. So register app. So after that add Firebase Sdk. This is not important for us. This should be done to you. This is global. So the npm install global Firebase tools. It installs all the Firebase tools required, and make it global for your system. So you should copy it and run it in the terminal. I have already done it, so I don't need to do it. So next, this is for deploying. We will do it uh, after creating our application. So let's continue to console. Yeah, after continue to console we will go here, click on authentication. Yeah, get started, and then go to Google, as we need Google sign in. So we will enable it, give here the Gmail, the support Gmail. We will save it. Yeah, so after saving, we can see that Google sign in has been enabled. So then we will go to Firestore to set up the database. So in Firestore, we will start create database. Then we will hit next. Yeah, enable. It's making for provisioning clouds Firestore. Setting up security rules. So we need to change the rules, as we will make it somewhat easy to use for debugging for now. So we will go to rules. Here the rules will be given. Yeah, so these are the rules that allow read or write if false. So we will remove it and write just allow read and write, and make it public and publish it. So after publishing, we can use it. So we have set up the Firestore. Let's see for storage. Yeah, storage. We'll change the rules of the storage too. So to change it, we will just remove this and allow read and write and publish it. Yeah, so after publishing, we will then go to settings, project settings, and then scroll down, and here you can see in Firebase Sdk snippet there is a config radio button, and there you see this set of command, that is constant Firebase config, which has the API key, auth domain, project ID, storage bucket, messaging sender ID, and app ID. So we will copy it and just go to your app, and here make a new file in the source folder and name it firebase.js. Yeah, so in firebase.js we will paste it, and it's constant. Yeah, so we need Firebase, so we will go to new terminal, go to new terminal, and here first go to our folder to so cd scratch, and then npm install Firebase. So it will install the Firebase to our system, to our project. To make it to the system, we can write hyphen save. So by making the constant, we will then make initialize it by constant Firebase app. For that we need to import it, so it's installing. So first let it install. So we can write Firebase dot initialize app, as we first need to initialize a project, and what we are going to initialize Firebase config. So Firebase config. Okay, then we will, let's import Firebase from Firebase. It, after installing it will be removed. So next we will just make the constant db, as we need to also we need database, so we will give name as db. So Firebase app dot Firestore. Okay, and then we need auth for authentication. So constant auth is equal to Firebase dot auth. Then we also need provider. So provider is new Firebase dot auth, which is inside auth, and we need Google auth provider to give access to Google signing. So dot Google auth provider. Okay, so we need storage. So constant storage is equal to Firebase dot storage. Yeah, and then we need to export it. So export auth provider storage. Yeah, we have exported it, and we will export default as database. Okay, so for now everything is done for the setting the Firebase. So next we can use the Firebase after the installation is done, which is going on in the terminal. Okay, so we need to add Redux too. So let's install Redux also. So for that we will use npm install Redux, and after that we also need the toolkit. So we will just give the command as npm install @reactjs slash toolkit. Okay, so let's wait while it finishes. So let's add now toolkit. Redux is installed. So in our project, so now we will do npm install @redux js slash toolkit to install the toolkit from the Redux. So now it's installed, the toolkit is installed, so we will add Redux to our project. So for that we need to make a new folder inside the source and name it as app, and in that app we are going to make a new file. We will name it store.js. Yeah, so in store.js we will first import configure store and get default middleware. Yeah, so from Redux toolkit. Okay, from Redux js slash toolkit, and next we are going to import. We will just now export it. So export default configure store. Yeah, configure store, and we will add reducer and in reducer we will use user and make it user reducer. Okay, and we will get movie and name it movie reducer. Okay, and after reducer we are going to add middleware. So in middleware we will get default middleware, and so in that we will make the serializable check, yeah, to false. Okay, so we have done with our store.js. So here user reducer and movie reducer are not predefined, so we need to make that user reducer and movie reducer. So for that we will go in the source folder. We will make a new folder, as we will name it feature. So new folder, features, and in features, okay, so in features we will add a new folder named user, and in user we will add a new file and we will name it user slice.js. Okay, so in that we will import create slice from redux tool redux slash toolkit, and we will make the constant, so make the state of the user. We have installed the redux by using npm install redux, and we have installed the toolkit from the redux.js by using npm install @redux.js slash toolkit, and then we have made an app folder inside the source and made a file named store.js inside the app, and in that store.js we have imported configure store and get default middleware from redux.js slash toolkit, and then we have exported the default configure store, and we have used reducer and set the user to user reducer and movie to movie reducer. For now I have given the state some simpler state for the movie. We will be making that in the next video. So for first we need user, yeah, so let's remove it. Okay, so user has user reducer, and middleware we have given as get default middleware and made the serializable check to the false. And after that we have made a folder named features, and inside the features we have made a new folder named user, and in that user we have made a file named user slice.js, and inside that we have imported create slice from redux.js slash toolkit, and then we have initialized the state by using constant initialize state and initialize the name, email and photo of the user to null, which the initial state of the user will be null. Then we have made the user slice to the constant, and we have created slice and use the initial state. Then we have name it to user, and we have used reducer to set the user login details and use state and action. Then we have made the state of the user login details as state.name to action.payload.name. After the action has been taken, the state that the user in will retrieve. So same as to email and the photo. Next, we have set the sign out state where the state is parameter, and then we have set all the states of name, email and photo to null. When we sign out, the state will be at null. Then we have exported that data, set user login details and set sign out by user slides dot actions, and then exported the select username to select the username, then user email and photo, and set it to state.user.name, same as state.user.email and photo. Then we have last exported the default and made the user slice dot reducer. So now to set that state we have made in the store and the user slice and all, we need to go to the index.js, and here we need to make the provider for the app. So in the react.strict mode we will make provider not that, need to remove that, yeah. So provider, yeah, and this app will be inside provider, and we will set the provider store to store, and we will import this store that we have made there. Okay, then it's done. So here gives the error for the provider, so we need to import provider. So we will import provider from React Redux. So for that we'll import provider from Firebase login. So for that, when we click on the login button, we should be get a sign in pop-up, uh, of Google, and where we should be able to log in from there, and after login you can go on the home page. So for that we will first go to our header component, yeah, and then from the header component we will make a new constant. So here we have made a new constant for the dispatch, to use the dispatch method, and then we have imported use history to make the history of to change the history, and also we are going to use your constant username to use selector the select username, that if the user has been logged in, so it will select the user that which user is logged in, and then it will redirect us to the home page. So we are going to use photo, use selector, and we are going to use select user photo. So we are making constant handle auth to handle the authentication. So for that, if there is no username, then we will use auth dot sign in with popup. So sign in with popup. Okay, so in that we will use provider from Firebase. Okay, and then we will use then that if there is a if the sign in comes from the popup, you see actually, wait, okay, what is this? Dispatch. Ah, so then if there is the constant, then we will sorry, if the sign in with popup has been happened, then we will take result. Okay, after taking result, we will set the user to result.user. Okay, and then if the after then we will catch the error, and then we will alert make the alert of error dot message. Okay, if there is error, then it will give the message. Okay, so for that, to set the user, so we have used here set user. Okay, sorry, this, so we have used set user here, but we have not made it. So for to set the user, we will make a new constant. So constant set user, and then user, and then we will use a dispatch method. Okay, and in dispatch we will set the user login details. Okay, we will set the user login details to where there is name, so we will set the name to user dot display name. Okay, and we will set email to user dot email, and also we will set the photo to user dot photo url. Okay, so we have used set user here to set the login details, and then we have implemented it to here that if the sign in with popup has been done, then we will set the user with the result.user that the user has signed in, and if there is a error, then it will catch the error and alert it. It will give the alert message. So we have done with handle auth. So we will go down, and in this login we will give on click. Yeah, from here we will give on click. Yeah, and on click, in on click we will give the handle auth function. Okay, so it's done. So for next, uh, here we can see that if we click on login, uh, sign in with pop-up is not a function. Okay, I think there is a error with while using this pop-up. Auth, okay, auth is not. Okay, now let's check again. Yeah, so it's working. So after we click on the login button, it gives the pop-up for the Google sign in. Yeah, so here you can see the pop-up of Google sign in. From there, if we click on this, then it will sign in, and it will set the state that this is the user or something. Like, let's take different email. So yeah, as we okay, so it gives the message that this operation has been cancelled due to another conflicting pop-up been opened. Okay, so we have not we haven't just we have handled the auth, but we have not set the user states. Okay, so we need to use effect for that. So we will just go below this, and we will be writing use effect. We will import it. So as you can see, use effect is imported. Yeah, so after using use effect, we will make a function, then call it, and like this we will use it. So here we will take username, okay, and then here semicolon. Inside this we will write code. So we will use auth dot on auth sign in on auth state change. So it will set the auth state. So here we will use a sync function, and we will take user, and then we will check that if there is user, that if there is a user, then we will set the user to user, and then we will change the history and push it to home. Okay, so like this we have set the user. So after that, we are go after here handling the auth, we need to use the sign out. Okay, so let's first uh, wait a while making. Yeah, so here we need to make sure that here we have given href home. So we need all this when the user is signed in. Okay, so for that, if the user is not signed in, then we should get the login button, as the login button should not be visible. This, if the user is signed in, then the login button should not be visible. So we will go below this logo. Okay, and we will say that if there is not username, then we will, yeah, so if there is not username, then we will use this then the login button will be shown. Okay, and if there is username, then this navigation menu will be shown. Okay, now it's done. So after we remove this and go to the root, while okay, something's redirecting us. So we haven't set the sign out state. Yeah, so we first the user is logged in, so the state has been changed, and now it says that the user is logged in. Now if we refresh, the user will be logged in, so we need to make something that the user can sign out from there. So for that we will make here a profile photo, an avatar, which by clicking on there you can sign out. Okay, so it also can tell that the user is, yes, he or she is signed in. So for that we will go out of the now menu. Yeah, and then we will make a new sign out. Okay, it says that yeah, it should be wrapped in an enclosing tag. So we will use an enclosed tag like this, and below this sign out. Okay, an empty tag, so it removes the error. So here says the sign out is not defined. So for that, for the sign out, we will go here, go down, yeah, and here we will take a new constant and say sign out, and we will better be using style dot div. We will style it in the next way. So after sign out, we are going to add a user image. Okay, so we will give user image. I think, yeah, that's better. It's the image, so user image, and we will give source, and we will give source of user photo user photo, and we will give alternate name as a user name. Okay, so this is the user image, and also we are going to use the drop down, and for that so we'll make this drop down. Yeah, and in the drop down we will going to add span. Okay, and in span, okay, we will here give the name as sign out, to sign out. So we will now style it. So in that, in here the sign out, we will, okay, so we give the position as a relative, and we will give height of somewhat 48 pixels, and width also 48 pixels. and we will give display as flex, and also we will give the cursor pointer as when we hover on the cursor it will give the pointer. So let's remove this error. So we will make a new constant, user image, and then style dot image, and another constant, name drop down, and then style dot div. Okay, now the error has been removed. Yeah, so here, yeah, we see that the sign out, yeah, the user image, and also there is a sign out thing. Okay, so let's make it big and somewhat small. Okay, so you can see the image, and also it gives a cursor pointer. Yeah, so next we will just give align the items to the center. Okay, yeah, so it's centered align. So we will justify the content to the center. Okay, now it's centered align. The justify content is also to the center. So in that, in this sign out, we will give okay, let it be. Now we will give the user image. So in this user image, we will give height as 100%. Okay, so after giving 100%, it gives it makes the height look with like what is needed. It will give that only. So after that, we will in the sign out, yeah, in the sign out we will just make the user image user image, and give it a border radius, of 50%, as we need it as a total circle. Cannot access user image before initialization. Okay. How is that error? Let me check. Okay, so login cannot access. Okay, so the error was that we were using the user image before the initialization as drop down, and this user image was after the sign out. So I have just cut that and pasted before the sign out, so that it is first initialized and then we have used it here. So we have given the border radius of 50% and width of 100% and height of 100%. So here you can see, and after that we are going to give the hover effect. So we will, yeah, go down here and we will just and hover, and inside this you are going to hover the drop down. So we'll use drop down and then give opacity of 1, and we will give the of transition duration of 1 second. Okay, so we need to make the styling for drop down. So we'll go up here, and then we will give position as absolute, and we will make it top with 48 pixels, and we will give right as 0. Okay, to make it to the right, and then I will give the background color. So background with RGB 19, and yeah, so somewhat grayish. Okay, so after background we will give the border of 1px and solid, and we'll give the color as 0.34. Okay, so it gives somewhat grayish look. Okay, so, and also we'll give the border radius of 5 pixels, and we will give box shadow of RGB 50%, and yeah, we'll hit save. It gives somewhat grayish. Okay, some good box shadow. So we will also give padding with 10 pixels, and the font size will be 14 pixels. Yeah, and also we'll give the letter spacing of only 3 pixels. Okay, yeah, so now it's looking different, and after that we'll give the width of 100 pixels. Yeah, so now it looks good, and after that we will give the opacity of 0. So we have given the opacity of zeros, and after hover the opacity of drop down will be 1. See, yeah, so now it's done. Okay, see how it retracts. So here you can see that if you hover here, you see some good transition of 3 seconds, uh, and also it comes the sign out drop down. Okay, so we need to give this sign out drop down handle auth, and for handle auth we need to make the auth of sign out also, so that we will be making it more interesting. So in the handle auth here we have given that if there is not username, then auth dot sign in. But what if there is already a username? So we will make it here else, that if there is username, then sorry, else if there is username, then we will use auth dot sign out. Okay, and also then we will just dispatch it, dispatch the set sign out state that we have made in the user slice. Okay, so it will just set the sign out state, and we will also make the history dot push back to root. Okay, back to root, and also after then we will also catch the error, and then we will alert it with error dot message. Okay, so now everything is good. Like uh, we need to give this constant handle auth to the this drop down. Okay, here span, so we will give on click handle auth. Okay, it's save. Then yeah, so as we over here the sign out comes, and after we click on sign out we go to the login page. Okay, so we have done the auth state. So as we logged in, click on login, we get a pop-up, sign in pop-up of Firebase, and when we click on the email that we need to sign in, it redirects us to the home. Okay, so now we have redirect, so now we can make the home screen. Okay,